Brown v. Board of Education is a landmark Supreme Court decision that has ultimately shaped the lives of millions of people, in addition to laying the foundation for crucial civil rights legislation, which has greatly improved the lives of minorities within the United States.
The first important race-related Supreme Court case was Plessy v. Ferguson. Homer Plessy was a 7/8 white and boarded on an all-white car on the East Louisiana Railroad. Under Louisiana law, he was still considered black and required to sit in the blacks-only car. He challenged this law, and it was eventually taken to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court found in the landmark decision of Plessy v. Ferguson that segregation was constitutional as long as it was equal.
Plessy v. Ferguson affected every aspect of American life, including the resegregation of the federal government, starting with Woodrow Wilson's administration.
In Topeka, Kansas, Linda Brown and her sister were forced to walk to the switchyard to get to the bus stop that would take them to the segregated all-black school. At this time, only towns with 15,000 or more residents were permitted to have separate but equal schools, but it was not mandated. She then applied to the closer summer school, but her application was denied by the Board of Education in Topeka because of race.
The Browns sued the school board, claiming they were denied equal protection under the 14th Amendment. Their case was initially denied, but made its way up to the Supreme Court through the appellate process.
That's the way it is. Come on. That's just the way it is. Things will never be the same. That's just the way it is. Oh yeah.
There was much pressure from the Supreme Court to hear the Brown case. The pressure was the result of similar complaints from around the nation, the help of Thurgood Marshall and the NAACP. The Supreme Court ultimately overturned Plessy v. Ferguson in a landmark decision that now outlawed segregation within the United States.
Despite the decision, Jim Crow laws were still in existence in 1954, and they were disbanded in 1964 with the implementation of the Civil Rights Act. The Civil Rights Act outlawed racial segregation in schools, public places, and employment. Eventually, the Voting Rights Act of 1965 was implemented, outlawing any discriminatory voting restrictions.
The Brown v. Board decision prompted action from African Americans fighting for civil rights. One of the most famous cases of this is Rosa Parks refusing to give up her seat at the front of the bus for a white individual. Following this incident, Martin Luther King Jr. emerged as the face of the African American civil rights movement, which led to the Montgomery bus boycott. Their lengthy bus boycott made a strong impact on the economy of Montgomery. This eventually led to the victory by the African Americans for desegregated busing.
Advanced units are already on duty on the grounds of Central High School.
The Arkansas National Guard ringed the school with orders to admit only the white students. It shocked the country.
Following the Brown v. Board ruling, 9 brave African-American students were enrolled at Little Rock Central High School, an all-white school. Governor Faubus of Arkansas called in troops to prohibit the students from entering the school. However, the next day, President Eisenhower ordered the United States Army to escort the students, ensuring the integration within the school system.
With the chaotic events that happened in Arkansas and the Little Rock Nine, the court stated that schools must integrate with all deliberate speed. This allowed different areas where segregation was more ingrained in society to determine when they were ready to integrate.
In 1961, JFK instituted Executive Order 10925, which called for affirmative action and policies that take gender, race, or ethnicity into account. This was an attempt to promote equal opportunity and increase ethnic diversity in workplaces and schools. In 2002, No Child Left Behind Act was enacted to promote standards-based educational reform in response to the underachievement of schools. This underachievement is often a reflection of minority groups.